That's
Mr. Tokunbo is okay. What I have here is Mr. Tokunbo OJEKUNLE. Am I right here?
fire.
Thank you. I'm so happy I got that name. I don't want to bother people.
You didn't get it for fire.
Please, you have to tell me anything. Okay.
It's an up.
OJEKUNLE.
It's an up. Opposite. Up.
Yeah, okay. Okay, it's that OJEKUNLE.
Those is lessons.
Okay,
We need so many ways.
Okay, Mr. OJEKUNLE. Wow, I got that. Thank you very much, sir. So that in case I see them in news next time. Can be described as a consummate communications expert who cut his first tooth as a broadcaster in the early 80s at Radio Lagos. Later in the late 90s, he, along with a young and daring team of broadcasters, pioneered yet another state-owned radio station, Echo FM. Here he rose to the post of manager presentation, manager programs, and in the early 2000s became the station's director of marketing, a post he held until 2006 when he was appointed acting general manager, Link FM TV, Lagos. The company's expansion policies led to his emergence as general manager, Radio Continental, and later in 2016, he became general manager, Max FM, a post he controlled until September 2017, when he pulled out to set up his own media consultancy and training outfits, Pedigree and Style Media. Mr. Tokunbo is an NNMA radio presenter award winner 2000, in the year 2000. He holds a diploma in mass communications, UNILAG, and a Bachelor of Arts, History and International Studies at Lagos State University. He has, over time, attended various trainings in media and marketing related courses, both home and abroad, including British Council-sponsored media PR techniques in the UK in 1988 and the Austrian government-sponsored training on peace and conflict resolution held in South Africa. His goal is to devote his time to media consultancy, training, and join in creating an enabling atmosphere for effective flow of communication in the society. Mr. Tokunbo is married and with 3 children. Please put your hands up. Okay.
But it's fine, really. Yeah.
Thank
you. Please sit down.
Thank you.
I didn't know I would. For short people, we need to either raise ourselves or raise the platform. You know? So you would, time to time, expect me to just sit down.
Okay.
Because this is my focus. I wondered when I was coming here, how do I start this? Because whilst I was fully on ground as a communicator, which I still am, I meet people. My joy is meeting people. My joy is being challenged by people coming in to say, I don't know you, you don't know me, but this is what I think you can do for me, you know. And whilst there, I got a bad name generally, because my doors were always open. So one day, Mr. Emmanuel Watson, and it was just, you know, that if you know him, he gets what he wants. There are ways he does it. I don't know how. But this day, he stood on my neck like, you just have to show us the way. You just must tell us this. You just must tell us that. And he didn't know also that I was actually running a test. You see, in life, If you want something, stay at the doorstep, don't leave. If you leave, it's a test, you lost it. But I realized that there was passion in him. And when I met the crew, I saw double passion. And that's the way, honestly, that's the way I believe that we young ones, are you laughing? Young Men Christian Society. You find 19-year-old as president. Not churches. Am I right? Yeah. But they use the younger ones. They're always there. You say, YMCA, they are doing their harvest, and you see the old man with the walking stick leading them in. And people are wondering, young men. Young men. So for me, it's a selling point, and I honestly believe that that's the way to go. Second one, I owe you guys an apology. The Abekuta thing, I was meant to be there, and I was on my way. It was a good day. I had so many opportunities, so many chances to do other things, but I had to cancel. I was at the embassy trying to get a visa. I was to travel there to US, and you know Americans and the baby. But we sailed through it that day, and I was on my way, and the traffic was so bad. And so I called somebody, and the person said, "We're rounding up." I must have been around the traffic government section there again. I'm giving these two examples because that's where strategy is. And that's where we're starting off from. Strategy makes you think that there is no solution on earth anymore. But what is expected of you is to try to meander or change or detour from where you were before to get to where you're supposed to be. So in life, the only thing that is permanent, you can't believe, it's not that changing, is your will to change. It's not just change, it's your will to change. I see we've been sitting down for a while. I have songs that inspire me. I'm going to share one with you. I'm going to start playing it now, and I'll play it at the end. But now it's for us to just follow the mood of the song. Don't ask me about the lyrics, I'm sorry. But there are some very operative words there I think should settle our mind and get us in the flow. It's a song that I picked when I was really a presenter on radio. I've done this jockey before, I've done DJ before, I've done club DJs before. I have used songs to heal. And you have used words to heal. You don't know you do.
Thank you, sir.
So that's the beginning of it. She has used chemistry to heal. Because she took me back to the school today. No. I want to challenge everybody. I felt I was in a chemistry class.
Exactly.
The way she was talking about it, because, this is a buccal cavity, they call it. Yes. And they say digestion starts from there. Now, what scared me was we had a teacher who convinced everybody that if you're drinking beer, no problem. But beer is being absorbed from air. Take beer, it's being absorbed from this one. Likewise, your food. And I couldn't contend with that. So I started measuring the kind of beer I take and how to take it. You have to drink it from the mouth. Can I have the song? Let me just try. And the way you see yourself. So I use this song all the time, and it spurs me on, it carries me on, and that's the way it's supposed to be in life. Because if you don't charge yourself, nobody's going to charge you. Nobody will charge you. And different songs for different folks. Nigeria has gone beyond one stage. The metamorphosis of Nigerian music stage has changed. We are still coming to where we're going. Over time, we grew with high life music. And high life music also had its gradient. Then it got to a point, we found Nigerian musicians singing just anything. Even right now, do you have a pastor here? Do you have any deacon here? I will tell you what my pastor said, and I believed him. He said he doesn't know where from the devil or deep pit of Satan that the music, the rhythm flows into his head. And he's busy chanting the music. Meanwhile, the lyrics are telling him what to do. So he would not be able to decipher between the real lyrics and the one that is. So you sing the songs brought to you anywhere, on any platform. And he believes that the youth of today should be more focused. They should be more focused. And do we still buy them? We have to buy them to encourage them. So when you buy those things, play them in your room. When your daughter is coming, you put it off. When your son is coming, you put it off. When they are out, you play it again and you're laughing. You know, but that is another way to see life. Life is not permanent, it changes. The word vision agrees with a lot of definitions. Let me start from there. It says, the word relates to sighting, viewing, or ensuring that you see what others cannot see. What are those things that others cannot see that you want them to see? The word gives encouragement in the areas of planning and setting a stage plan for the launch of what I call a new project, an idea. Without an idea or a project in mind, you may not be able to visualize anything that is coming. You already have an idea of what you want to do, but you do not understand how to get to that point. But is it your vision? It may not be your vision. It may be somebody else's vision. Just come along with me. The strength given to the word is no doubt embedded in the thumbs attached to the eye. The eye, in its state of literary appreciation, complements all the attributes of the human body. Eye. It helps us see what we want to see and helps us to withdraw what we want to withdraw. Without the eyes, I will get emotional a bit when I get to talking about the eyes. The eye is the only pointer that moves your body. The eye is the only one that gives your body movement in life. You lose the eye, you lose the sight. You lose the sight, you are uncoordinated. So here I'm saying that the thing called the eye, that part of the body called the eye, okay, sees everything that the body will take along. You can be too free. When there is no eye, okay, I want to move this way, right? I just have an idea that whilst I was teaching, I saw a gap here. I don't know if it's a gap. But I can never move with confidence. I have to be careful. And I opened it now, I'll be hitting you. It wasn't deliberate. Because the eye makes me see where there is a sight. The eye, in its state of literary appreciation, that's when you see it. But the eye also has, it aids the vision. Eyes support what plans the body has by allowing the sight to support the growth of the vision. The vision and eyes make navigation and coordination easier. Everybody would know that. Allow us to tinker for a while. Something gives the eyes and the vision some push. Something gives the eye and the vision some push. And what is that thing? The brain. We lose the brain, we lose the sight, we lose the body is dead. So play it back. With the brain, are the eyes. Eyes tell the brain what it's seeing. Brain records it and helps you as the owner of the body to coordinate. We are dead with a dead brain. We are not dead with a blind sight. Eyes function, brain functions, but eyes and brain must function together. And that's why everything is here. The head is the most important part of the human body. All the components that will make the body feel, that will make the body eat for survival, that will make the body drink for survival. Everything about the movement and thinking processes of the human body is all here. You see how important the hair is? You rush somebody to the hospital, and the doctor looks at the person and says, oh, she slipped or he slipped. Sheikh Ofori Bale, I hope he didn't use his hair to crash on the floor. If that's it, then there's a lot more they will do. Send anything for scanning, do MRI, all this thing. But the head is just important. I move on. The synergy between the brain and the eyes and all could be very weak at times. It is from the head the vision is formed. It is from the head ideas are generated. Ideas come from everything. It is the head that the eyes will be set to assist the vision. And how does the appreciation comes? It comes when ideas are being formed. The language of communication is important. The only thing you will be worried about is, what am I thinking about? What am I visualizing? Let me take you off and take you to the streets. There are so many things going on in the environment and community. And one thing, if you are in touch with yourself and you want to be a people's person, and you want to help the growth of the nation, please don't take a walk around Ikoyi or Victoria Island. You don't need it. This campus thing you are doing, let me deviate a bit. If you should ask me, I'll tell you, take a walk into the rural areas. No, Najikuli is not rural. You were mentioning Najikuli. Yes, no, it's not rural.
Thank you, sir. No,
it's not. And I'm serious. Take a walk inside the hidden parts of Ikorodu as a town. Live there and then go to Iyano Ipaja. Go inside Iyano Ipaja. Makoko, thank you. You identify those places. Go inside those places. In fact, this is the best time to go. When the rains are down. By the way, don't look for houses when there's no rain. This is the time to search for your house. And you want to move houses. Go and search now. You will be shocked about what you see. The children going to school in the morning, you would imagine how they cross this river of the road every day. The same with their parents. Some areas, as I speak, they've not been able to move their cars out into Greater Lagos area. They have not been able to. They are just locked inside there. Now, what we have really is our strength of vision, our strength to understand that strategic thinking is really about your environment. It could move you from one state to the other. Office situations, you need to be strategic as well. I'll tell you, there's something called emotional intelligence. Write it down. Emotional intelligence. Go and Google and read about it. It's a lecture that will take you almost 6 months. Sir? More than 6 months. But for you to have an idea of what emotional intelligence is, you need to go through that route. Now the strength is this. It helps you to see the wider market around you. I'm going to ask you this question. Have you ever been part of a strategy thinking session? Have you ever? Let me tell you, it's the worst thing. I don't like it. by the time you are living, one that is well conducted, by the time you're stepping out, your brain is so weak. You can't even walk properly. People asking what's wrong. You are the only one. Because the noise, the kind of arguments that people have made in that kind of session is still ringing in your head. As you walk, it's still ringing in your head. It's like this man who rides Okada. And he comes back, he and his wife will always have wahala at a point in time. I'll come back and say, ask my wife, what's wrong with this? Why do you always argue? My wife now opened up one day, he says that the wife was complaining. By the way, they are from the north, but they are in Lagos. The wife was always complaining that anytime, the man didn't have any time for her. And he will go since morning, will come back and says he wants to sleep. So when my wife said that, she looked at me, oh, there's some mischief in her eyes. I said, okay, so he really can't off. He said, that's what the woman is saying. And she said, so there was one day I called the man, and I said, I was with a very nice couple. Where was I? What was I? I said, my man said, you and madam, you have issues. He said, hey, okay, you know, I go drive, Okada. When I come back, Oga, the whole of this place is doing me. It's doing me like generator. Oh. And then she will, do you understand? Yes. The longer you stay on a particular job choice or task, you get paid for life. Yeah. I get paid for talking. And I don't have any regrets about it. Yeah. You understand? That's the reason why, when you guys gave me this topic, I just said it, this topic is not for slides. It's not beyond slides, because it's a very technical topic. We have to talk, we have to discuss, we have to exchange ideas and interact. That's the whole idea. So you see, the longer you stay without having anything to challenge you, the more difficult it is to be strategic. You can't stay in your room for 1 year, 2 years, you don't go out, and somebody sends a paper to you or something and says, please, can you help me analyze a new strategy for this thing? You don't go out, you don't discuss, you don't call people don't call you. And you don't even know your environment. So how are you going to strategize for this guy? So please just come along with me. It's something we have to break into, but gradually we will break into. Because by the time we leave here, everybody will understand, including more, understand what strategy really is. Now, due to the fact of the components residing within the same area of influence, communication, as it were, is easily achieved as plans are being thought of. Vision opens to capture visually what is being conceptualized. And with the brain in focus, it shows the beauty and processes to achieve the dream. Okay? This way, you can appreciate the beauty and power of what goes on in the brain. Let's leave the brain a bit. Efforts have been taken so far to help us ascertain how the enlargement of our tiny visions become the real thing. In its reality, the total coordination of the human mind and all varying parts of the body give us pure visibility of what we should be doing as human beings. Some people will tell you, and I always believe sometimes, I know what they're saying, that the only way to a man's heart is what? Let's cheer up with what is stormy. Some say stormy, don't call it stormy, they call it belly and all that. Now, tell me, do you know that women have so re-strategized that thought that they have changed that thing? Women are here. They will tell you, okay, I've been dating for 2.5 years, but this one, not be food. She will tell you straight, this person, not be food. To get him, okay, it's like this, food. No, not be food. So what do you do? They won't talk. But they know what they do. Did they read that thing in the book? No. It's a coordination of the mind thing. You see, mind thing, we pass matter, ordinary matter. But the mind when formed, the opinion is done like that forever. And when the thoughts are formed in your mind, particularly the relationship, let me move it to are relationship couples now. They say first impression. What do you call it? That's what? It's a lie. It's changed. It has changed. First impression for me is a foolhardy thought. If you study emotional intelligence, you will know that it's the wrongest thing ever to use in judging someone or judging a it's not making sense. That man comes in, and because of my training, as soon as the person enters, I can assume everything around him. The person comes, sometimes he comes in late, this kind of function. And as he's coming in, you are better, how are you, blah, blah, blah. He's just going straight to look for somewhere to sit. But I'm studying his comportment. He's bringing some annoyance from outside. One, he came late. Due to why? Maybe the wife refused to allow him to leave home or something. Or he got halfway. The taxi was coming in, but he had a flat tire. He dropped down, collected his money back, got another taxi. That one, Olokwa catch him somewhere. And so by the time he's walking in, he's all, everything is in disarray. But when he walks in, let's assume you happen to be an assessor, independent supervisor, and you are seeing everybody coming, and you observe, this is this guy, why is this guy coming in? And you pick your pen, you just assess him. And everybody goes away. And when the assessment is passed to her about this chap who happens to be studying with her in the class, no, this is not this guy, this is not Tuji, no, this is not him. But did you see, he came with a mood that day and all that? First impression kills the show, they say, but it is the wrongest thing now to use to judge people. Not in a hard economy as Nigeria, not in a hard situation where, hey, you've got to live by what you know. You will not do firewall, you won't do all that thing, but when you do it, you won't be caught. Let me explain this to you. All this thing about Nigeria we're talking about, I waited for the right time to. I didn't want to stop you, but I'll tell you. I traveled, I just came back. And we go to a particular airport. It was in Amsterdam. My wife and I, we had our great passport. My wife also had been feeling funny because we read a lot about Nigeria and the great passport thing. So I told her, I said, go put this in your bag, hold it. So she held her, I held my own. And then people around were looking at us, even Ghanaians. I could identify them with the KT, the war. And you were looking at them. And I just said, and she just got, women are interested. She said, no. I said, excuse me, is this our home? Is it our country? So let's behave well. So I stood on the line, just stood there, waiting for the man to leave. And one lady came. She went from they had actually seen us from all this CCTV stuff. And the way we stood was like, yeah, we are JJC. We don't even know where to talk to. But it was to be a stopover. I noticed she was walking. I thought she was coming to see my wife. So I just heard her say, Madam, people don't know. My wife looked at me. I looked at her. In this country, Yoruba. Madam, people don't know. I said, stop over there. Please follow me. Look, where she took us to, with our green passports, they made us coffee. They made us tea. Wow. They gave us toasts. They came back and asked again, do you want anything? To keep us for 6 hours, which that airline should have done. But in fact, they said they did it after, we didn't even miss it. Because we were so well taken care of. We were so well taken care of. And curiously, I asked the lady, I said, how long have you been working with the German government? She said she's been here for about 6 years. And that, I said, do you like it? And she said, yeah, it's great here. They don't harass you because you're Nigerian. She said, no. She said, no. She said she discovered that it's what you have here and the way you express it that will differentiate you from the other Nigerians. That is the truth. That every country has its own problems. Every single country has. You're thinking, Nigeria is still better in some areas. When a white man now sees me, you know the first thing he says, oh, you guys are brilliant. You guys broke into the... it was so uncomplimentary, but looking at him, he was like, look, I doff my hat for you guys. You broke into the central, the Bank of London. You know, he couldn't believe it. And then you left and came to California and did the same. He said, you got brains, you got brains. I want to come over and say hello to you guys, you know. I took my card, I gave him my card, you gave me his own, and he went. My wife said, well, was being sarcastic. I said, no. Sarcasm as God has left him. He's now in bewilderment. I don't understand how what happens in that country. How could people? It's the truth. Now, connection of that to family, I will let you know. Some areas in Ibadan, they went to TOKUNBO, went to the place. They got about, police, 28 or 30. They said, we're looking for them. We went to their homes. The families, the father, mother, they knew what their children were doing. And they defended their children. Well, if you have anybody in the FCC, they will tell you, it was tough to capture get those guys in there. Their parents said, we can't touch them. They said, this is our breadwinner. We can't even go. Who's going to give us? Do you understand that? Do you get it? And the movement goes on. Even in Warri, the same thing. Confidently. Confidently, parents just come and say, no, we can't touch you. They go, they leave them, they go around their community leader, tell them they are going to a community side. Community leader comes because he also benefits. He also benefits. Now, how do we re-strategize our thinking into making Nigeria, you know, the pale country in the whole world? It's gotten to that point where we need to begin to give strategic thoughts as younger people to help this country get out of the mess. And we are closer to the youth. We know, some of us know those guys. Those guys even know us. You stop them in the bus and they stop you. They come, they play with you, they chat, and people are looking at you, so well dressed. How do you know this is rough hair? You know, it's not a rough hair. This guy controls it, you know what he controls. And I'll shock you again. The few of the guys they caught, the investigators, they found out that these guys were doing something to society. They were sponsoring kids to schools with their money. They made sure that their community had a reason to exist. They were buying machines for people to work with. They are not thinking, they are not politicians, you know. Yeah. Politicians, you think he wants to become the state governor. No. He doesn't care about that. All he cares about is, look, don't come and be like me, oh, I didn't go to school, oh, you must go to school. What's wrong with you? Get out. Let's go to your teacher. And take the guy to the school. He said, he's owing money. How much is he owing? Madam, how much is he owing? How much? Even as he's counting, the teacher and the headmaster, they are looking at the money like this. Don't worry. Oh, yeah. Give him receipt. Please don't send him out again. And please take care of your recharge card in the back. And the guy goes, he's not coming there again the next 1 year, but he's done something. That even that small kid. Now, I'm not promoting illegitimacy. I'm not promoting that structure. But what I'm promoting is how these guys have been able to use their brain to refocus, to say that money, everybody will own that money, I will own that money. But I will show these people how to spend the money. So that's their own way of changing from the roots of the past into reality now. So at the end of it all, are you still going to let them lock them up? Okay, fine, you have committed an offense. How do you want to go about it? We will allow you, but what do you want to do? How do you want to take care of them? You know, because it tells you, if you do this, people are going to die. I don't know how my mother is going to live. My father, they all rely on me. And it's going like that. So everybody understands this. We are in control of whatever we have here. Let's have control. Every soul or body is expected to breathe into a thought and give life to some pending ideas that must pass from now into the future. For every time you re-strategize or do extra thinking procedures, you are thinking of the future. You are thinking of the future. Begin to understand that it is not a waste of time. You are thinking of the future. From my past experiences, is the fact that most souls do not have an iota of an idea of what they want to come out to be. As a matter of fact, there seems to be a total confusion when asked what your plans are for the future, or what would you like to become in future. It gets worse when somebody asks you to please come up with a business project, radio and television project. Let me come back to the first one. I don't know if it ever happened to you. When I was really growing up, my father, God bless his soul, had some friends. They would come and visit, and when they come, they sit down. TOKUNBO, come. Bobby, come. What do you want to be in future? And I'm looking at the man like this. My age, I don't understand. Even at that point, I couldn't point out what I wanted to be. The most confusing thing ever, I'm telling you, is this. I'll tell you two things that will confuse you in life, and that's about the questioning rate. First one is you enter an interview session. I do conduct interviews with a lot of businesses, organizations, blue chips, and you ask this person, tell us about yourself. You know, it's a tough question. Think about it. Where do I want to start from? And then what do I need to say so I don't miss the mark? Somebody is asking you questions and he says, it's sounding like, do you know what brought me close to these guys when they brought their e-campus to me? It was because for me at that time, it was a novel. I woke up understanding that you have to be original in the things you say you have. And when you bring originality, somebody is not saying that, this program reminds me of one program like this that Afo did. Do you know from that point, the vision is not clear. The vision is not clear. We get here, you get to know why originality is key, but it's difficult to achieve. The only way we can achieve it is to free our mind. You have to free your mind to get to where you want to get to in that area. Okay. When we are challenged, thank you, that's good. When we are challenged about what our ideas or visions are, we oftentimes end up recounting or narrating other people's ideas. And I'm going to ask you, do you fall into that category? Is anybody here into that category? Can we breathe our own idea and sell it? Can we? It's difficult. It is difficult. Well, it shouldn't be difficult. How do you do e-campus that is not looking like ex-campus where it's... How do you do it? Think about it. There is a way, there's a process, there's a template you have developed, and that's the template you are following. So any other person who wants to do that kind of a program, who is smart enough, will follow that template and not do anything, study the template, and begin to think out of the box to get another template in that area. That sustains positive vibes to making sure that I now have my dream. But if you don't follow your template, the person is right in the ocean. It's right in the ocean. The huge challenge you will ever face at every phase of creating ideas and concepts are projected by people. They are the stumbling block to everything. People includes you and I. Not that we are talking here, we are talking about people outside. We are all involved. they assume things in different ways. They see different things. It says, so whatever you care to generate as an idea, a factor, you must be able to factor man into it. Factor, it isn't possible. Factor, you must have copied it from one Mr. Yemi. Factor, this is not sounding original. And factor, do you think this is workable? When you build your ideas, you share it with people. These are the people waiting. You always meet them, they are there. They regularly are there. So what do? Let me help you. There is a writer called Ayn Rand. Ayn Rand writes for another close second group. But interestingly, Ayn captured all these things in a few lines. Let me read it. She says, throughout the centuries, there were men who took first steps down new roads, armed with nothing but their own visions. Their goals differed, but they all had these in common. What are those things? That the step was first step, a new road. The vision was unborrowed. And the response they received, hatred. The great creators, the thinkers, the artists, the scientists, the inventors stood alone against the men of their time. Every great new thought was opposed. Every great new invention was denounced. The first motor or motor car was considered foolish. The airplane was considered impossible. The power loom was considered vicious. Anesthesia for surgery was considered sinful. But the man of unborrowed vision went ahead. They fought, they suffered, and they paid. But they won. They won. There was an age of inventions, if you recall, where people were making pins, telephones, bulbs in those days. That age came back to back. No space in between. In fact, it became a norm. You must also try to invent something. So people were inventing, trying to invent things. Cooking pots, they were inventing. They were inventing tricycles. Everything was being invented. Go and check the books. That period was a renaissance of inventions. Big time. But most of these inventions were thrown back into the gutters. By the way, if you made this in those days and you passed it to the board, you must get a patent. Once they give you a patent, then it can be reproduced in large quantities to be sold. But every of those inventions had a clause put into it. The clause was, it must be speaking to man. Those things must concern man. Those things you are making must be man invented. There is no way you will make a bicycle and it's only for you or your family. So you will look at what the people needed in society. You look at what their major requirements were before you became an inventor. And the invention you were going to come up with must be something that will affect the whole community or the whole world. Before everybody will now clap for you, that was good. So you now have people, even from within, who are to endorse and approve those things. They will begin to work against you, take it back, it's not good enough, this and that is not good enough. So you find people doing longer years and time to invent things. I have something here about how it took people a long time to invent the airplane. In fact, when they were doing the documentation of the airplane, now from year to year, those who did it, they got lost in calendar years. They got lost in calendar years. Come and see failures. Some people even crashed. They didn't die, but they kept on. And for every crash, you still find some people going back to what? To re-strategize on those things people have done before. Now, so Vision crafting is being able to see the end from the beginning. I say this all the time. See the end from the beginning is your ability to probably close your eyes and see where this new idea is going and see what shape it's going to take. And the shape that it will take must be a shape that everybody must sign into. That's the reason why. I don't know if you went through this in your education. Nigeria, between 1975 and today, we changed our education curriculum about 5 times. I don't know, you must have passed through it. I mean, if you studied here. They had a 4-2-2-3 system. They had a 5-something system. They had another one, 2-3-5-5 system. By the time, I spent 5 years in my secondary school, I spent 4 years because of that thing. Then they now rushed us. They rushed us. We didn't go on a long break. From 4 to 5, we didn't go on a long break. We stayed in the hostel to, to cover what we should have done in 2 years. We spent just about 6 months. And by the time we were finishing, we were writing our finals. Come and see failures. They slept. We slept with each other like this. And it was so bad that I didn't do geography. They scored me for geography. The confusion didn't stop in the classroom. It affected YF itself. Because many of my colleagues didn't do accountancy. Just started giving them scores like that. So smart ones didn't talk. Until today they didn't talk. That's the truth. All these things just come. Different stories, everything. It wasn't a well thought plan. I'm bringing all the negatives out. So by the time you begin to sit down to look at how to strategize for something that you will own till forever, till you die, you will get it well. You mentioned something about the years that this project, you are praying for this project to people. I was laughing. But it's good. It's a future thing. You're seeing the end from the beginning. And that end, only you can see it. I can't see what you're seeing. And I cannot feel what you're feeling. But I can only know that somehow, some way, you know what you're doing anyway, because it was done rightly. That's the truth. That's the truth. Vision, lack of strategy, made us sell all the land available. So we are now looking for ways where streets will pass. We're looking for ways where streets will pass. We're even looking for ways to even walk. And then you get to a point you are asking yourself, Chibi, that's the street behind this house. That's where I'm going now. They say, yeah now. I said, why did you won't want to say it outside? Now why did this man build this house this way? Because you are going to take another 10 minutes walk around to get to the back of that house. We have, that's lack of vision. That is honestly total lack of vision. If you don't have it, you don't have it. Well, why should you use it to now ruin and make life so difficult for people? Another thing, before I go on, do you notice now that they are doing a serious media on the way to separate cars going this way and cars going this way? They raised the block. They raised the block. So you can't do those flip shots to cross the road. So ask me, when you go to Apapa Oshodi Expressway, where you have only 3 pedestrian crossings, only 3. One at Aswani, Dadian area. The other one is a bit further down. Another one is further down. But people who live between that place and this place, how do they get to? Do you know what they do now? They walk, they go towards Yanosolo and walk across the bridge as if they're driving their car. They get down and then cross over before they start to walk towards the second. Now, somebody is going to come in one day and say, that is unfair. You want to kill people? Break down those things. They will break those things down. That's what I'm talking about. Strategy is loose. You can't buy it. But you must have the strength to understand how it works. You cannot. And that's why a lot of eateries that we started with in Lagos have closed down. I'm telling you, some are closing down as I speak because the strategy was bad. I went into a Mr. Biggs 2 days ago, and I didn't believe it was a Mr. Biggs. It was just empty. The confectionaries were down. I was asking the girl, how many do you say? You only have one scotch egg left. I looked at the time, it was 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So everybody, we are beginning to feel it. So from the level of foundation now, we must get it right when we are strategizing. That's the reason why this particular thing, for me, falls well. We must get it right. How do we get it right? In order to gain the highest of the heights with your vision, you must be widely read. Open your cup of awareness. Be ahead in almost all spheres of knowledge. The trick is you must know to know. Take it that knowledge is the key that opens up the box of vision. If you are not enlightened, how do you know when your vision becomes obsolete? You control your vision, you control your mind, you know what to read. Don't be too serious about what I'm saying. Don't take it too much scientific. If you do, you won't think at all. And I mean it. What you need to do is appreciate the fact that we cannot do things if we do not know how the things work. I cannot go around designing Lagos, particularly the structures around Lagos. If, and I cannot, I'm serious, I cannot do it if I'm not a structural engineer, I'm not a civil engineer. The only thing I can look at from my angle is, why do we build houses as if those spaces are just calling for houses? That's the best thing I do. An engineer will see it differently. An engineer will see it differently, completely different, and begin to ask questions that are, that can be answered. Every idea, concept, or invention is people-driven. We birth new ideas with people in mind, either as beneficiaries to your new idea or as buyers that provide profit. People give life to your creativity. They allow you to check the gauge of your performances. What do people do? They help you know where you are. They help you know where you stand. If you have an idea that is business-oriented, for example, and it's about a laundry, and you want to set up a laundry, nobody. People have been setting up laundries, no wahala. But your own, you want it to be a little bit special. The only thing you can do is do a SWOT. Who knows what a SWOT is? Of course, we should know what a SWOT is. Thank you, yeah. Once you do a gauge SWOT of your competition and the clients that go there, you will know what those clients are losing by going there. So when you are building your own, you infuse it into it so they can always boldly leave them and come to you. That is where competition, that is where strategy thinking comes in. So you cannot just do anything anyhow, just like anybody doing it. So I'm cutting that short. And then, sometimes I say this to people, and I mean it when I tell them. When I say they are always shocked, okay? To make it plain, I'll say, I may not know what I want, but I know what I don't want. I may not know what I want, but I know what I don't want. If you're suggesting to me to eat a banana, you understand? And I'm saying, okay, but when you bring the eba and it's well presented, you would have, at the end of the day, have convinced me that to eat the eba. But when you bring the eba, there's vegetables, there's water on the other side, there's all that. And I'm looking at food of, no, don't worry, I don't worry, I will eat gala. That's the way it is. And that is what differentiates you from the ordinary people. Ordinary people. It doesn't say they are not smart. They are ordinary because people just start businesses, they don't have a business plan. Error number one. Your business plan tells you where you're going. And once you know where you're going, you can re-strategize even if it's not working. But if you never put that on a document paper, you will never be able to re-strategize because you don't even know what you were doing there in the first case. So our thought should be, for every time we are about to take up new steps, for every time we are about to take up new challenges, let us consider those things that affect the people and those things we must do to retain the people. We must affect them positively and retain them. Those who affect them, we must retain them. Ah, wow. This is absolutely out of. Cube, this is your timing. Okay. Okay, no worry. We'll round up now. So I go quickly to I go quickly to the points. Okay? For every time you are in this quagmire, think of the brand. The brand for you is the name. The brand for you is the product. The brand for you is what you have to give out. Think of that brand. Where do you want to see the brand in 20 years? Where do you want to see the brand in 50 years? Which was what Jude was saying about the e-campus flight. Okay? You look into the future. You already know where you are going. Okay? Then you also think quality. One of the few things that knocked issues out for me as Nigerians is that we have some better, very good brands, but the quality is so shabby. I'm telling you, the quality is so shabby. You get a well-done shirt from a good shop at OJEKUNLE. You buy it, when you get home, you realize what quality is. Why? 2 buttons are missing. Then they will make you the cuffling holes, right? And not punch the holes. So you paid. So you are looking for scissors of meat to create holes. Those things they look stupid and tiny, but they are really, really important. Too important for me to overlook. So that's quality. Think quality. Then think accessibility. Accessibility is okay, where you are operating from. Are you close to the people? Because if you put your shop on Friday, on this side of Friday, know that you've cheated yourself. People coming from Maryland will find it difficult to cross over to community. So go and look for another place where you know that everybody will be accessible to it. Okay. You think customer care relationship? Many people send people away because they don't like people. They don't know how to treat people. And I'm sure it's happened to everybody here. You go into a closed one, I'm sure it happens to women too. Women just make up their mind. See this one is just talking to me. So let's go, Jerry. And then the other one is saying, Madam, come on, I'm not coming. And the guy who acted is just looking at you like this. Come on, go, another person will come. That affects us a lot. We don't know. They look slow, like wait. Then you think future, where you will be. Then you think Naira. You think Naira, and your strategies will work. I won't go through that, but I know that there are so many things you can pick up. The aeroplane was conceptualized about 8 times before somebody eventually got it. But the person who got it happened to be a Brazilian. But the first set of people who ever ventured were the Wright brothers, Olivia and Wilbur. They tried to do it. After a while, they stopped it. They went to sell newspapers for 1 year. They started repairing bicycles for 1 year. Why were they repairing bicycles? Bicycles will show you a bit of mechanical movement, how things roll, which was needed for those who are thinking of building an airplane. So what they did was learn more from those automations and came back to reproduce the strategies they learned. Every time you have a passion, you need to make sure that your passion is close to what you do. If you want to become a photographer, your passion should be in cameras and all. I won't mind you deciding that you want to go and work for, what's that brand that does camera? And you are working, you are not too far. But meantime you are waiting for money, you want to be cameraman, you see, and you now left and you went to do vocalizer. That's what happens. We lose the training, we lose the focus completely. And we must always keep focus in whatever we do. Don't be too far from your point of contact, your area of reference. Don't be too far from it. If you are, you lose it. You definitely lose it. I don't want to use radio and TV most because that's where people have found themselves out of. But I know that so many scientists are now doing radio job. By the way, before I left, I engaged about 4 of them. In botanist, somebody who did chemistry, another who did mathematics, and because they are good, very good, and they're still on air now. So my own problem is, how do they get back to? No, science has lost them, because they're not going back. They're not going back, because science has lost them. So in signing off, we say, I expect you to identify your vision, articulate your vision, put it down, have a deep knowledge of the project. You can't give what you don't have. Document every attempted step. Your vision must be real and achievable. Your vision must be original. Your vision must be cost-effective. Your vision leaves room for external collaboration. People don't want to work with other people, so they lock themselves up in the fanfare, fantasies that they know it all. It's not possible. And I look at e-campus and I see a bit of what I'm talking about. The fact that somebody had an idea, somebody had a vision. He didn't go all through by himself. My generation has been killed by that. So many people will start a radio or television and will fail by the wayside. You raised it when you said that what happens to these new companies that will suddenly start and rise and fall. It's so easy. They didn't go with people. They went alone. Some became family businesses. And when the family has a problem, the whole thing comes down. Abiola's enterprise was a fantastic one. He had airline, he had newspaper, he had bread bakery, he had so many things. But because they just removed the man, the whole thing came down. That's always the problem. So learn to open up. Your tools, I recommend 2 books for you. There's one called The Art of War, The Art of War, the ART of War, by a guy called Sun Tzu, Suntzu. The Art of War. Please read that book. Then there's The Art of Seduction. The Art of Seduction, that's by Robert Greene. The Greene has an E at the end for Robert Greene. The Art of Seduction by Robert Greene. You read these 2 books, your life in the area of strategy will not be the same. You will not come out tops or you run away, because it's really their top books that will teach you exactly how to position. Even when you're going to collaboration, the things you need to do to go into collaboration. But the art of war is taking the war to your competitor. Take your war outside, face the person politely, and let the person know we're not in business, we're at war, and it will be sorted. Okay? So in signing up, in today's world of ever-changing projections, the onus is on us to flow with the changes. In our journeys through life, we move with all the settings within the head space. The head space includes the eyes, the brains, as we earlier said. The head itself is the head gear. We never walk empty in this field. We do not walk alone either. Thus, all internalized thoughts reside in us. We own and control them. We pay attention to the silent inner voice, telling and showing us the way. And this brings me to the most important aspect that even those who are strategists cannot run away from. That is intuition. Intuition is powerful. You must develop your intuition. Your intuition paves a better way for you. Your intuition opens you up. Your intuition shares your pattern within you and makes you know that that man is about to move. You move before he does. But don't ask me how we can understand it. Because a lot of people will tell you that it is that inner feel. My spirit is just telling me. You understand? My spirit is my spirit that said I should move. I didn't know the trailer would come. But when I moved, the trailer now came. We put it to you that it's more of intuition. It's just a good thing. Develop that intuition. it will work for you. Develop the strength within it. Allow it to grow. Let it flow into your visionary tract and guide your strategic reasonings. If your intuition is in tandem with this presentation, I believe that you are beginning to feel that I'm about to round up. But I know it's shared this with you. Helen Keller, who knows Helen Keller? The blind, the dumb, read about her. Fantastic woman. She couldn't see, she couldn't hear, she couldn't feel. But she was a highly successful woman. She wrote, the only thing worse than being blind is having sight and no vision. It's worse than being blind. You have your sight, but you don't have vision. You must work on your vision. Strategic vision and goal setting is owned by the quick-witted, the smart decision makers, the highly strategized thinkers, the daring risk takers, the creative and yet imaginative motivators, people-friendly people, the original owners of the non-existent projects, the eyes, vision, and the brains that see the end of the beginning. Those are the strategic visioners. Those with a larger-than-life attitude. Thank you all for tolerating me. Only small thing. Go and conquer.
Thank you, sir.
I thought that was a question.
All right. Okay, let's take us now.
Thank you so much for the section. My question is, I've listened to so many public speakers say that if you must hit it big, you must start big. And I contradict with what some people do say, start small and aim big. Now, you told us that we should focus. But what for someone that has a big plan, like sometimes it even scares me. And there are so many places to venture.
Good.
And you say that our dream must be in line with what we are doing.
Yes.
And what we are doing is part of the so many things that we have in mind.
Yes.
How do we now do it? All these plans, start small.
Well, very good question, lady. There was one topic the topic that I enjoyed in a math class, mathematics class. They call it flow chart. I don't know who went through that session. Flow chart. Flow chart will teach you how to prioritize things. Your big project is so large, right? You also know that even if you had 10 billion, you understand, you will not start by just setting the empire ready to go. You know, think about it. It won't happen. You are going to start somehow, some way, with inches to get to where you're going. Okay, your projection is that you want to probably start an airline, example. Okay, and you don't know how to go about it. You really want to, you understand. But you have gone through the various courses you are ready. You are even a pilot, by the way. So know what happened. Well, how do you now do your own? Your own is money will come, but you know how long it takes to order for aircraft? You can't order today and get it next year. It takes about 4 years for your Boeing whatever to come. So what would you do during that period? Those are the things you should be asking yourself. So you could start small. You could start ticketing office. You could start a ticketing business that will lead you from airline one to another. Everybody in the business of ticketing knows everybody, all the airlines. You know Virgin, they all know you because you are all about. So you establish, you get your involvement, you get into it. When you get into it, by the time your order begins to come, you've already gotten your space. You paid for hangar. You have licensed yourself. But you're not the only one doing it. So you need to bring in a lot more people. Now let me go back to this issue of you start big, you start big. I'm not a speaker that motivates them, if you understand me. What I mean by that is that most of our motivational speakers, with due respect to them, they confuse us a lot. They do confuse us. I deliberately attend some, and I am almost certain that I'm not the only one who is now, this age and time, querying a bit of what they say. I go online too. I read things. The only thing you'll find online is references to the Wright brothers who did the airplane. Those are historical facts you need to impute. Then quotations from one or two people. And I don't make sure, I make sure it doesn't go more than 2 or 3 people for quotations. That makes sense. The other things are those things you know and you've done and you've tried. You have known, you have done, and you have tried. And they have given you success stories. I am not disparaging them because them. But when I go online, I come back with their stuff and I realize that the things I'm reading, some people live verbatim. They read them verbatim online and stuff it up for us and teach us with them. So I'm saying, yeah, who can do that? Who can do it? Everybody can do that. You know, but you start big, you start big, you start big is what is sending people to do for one night, scamming, to get money quickly. To get money quickly. And I will drop this to you, an information if you do not know. Banks now have, let me drop it because it will benefit everybody. Banks now have a mandatory task for the CBN to make sure that they support projects. They make sure they support. Now, they have been giving them warning for about 2 or 3 years. Many of them didn't. Some did. Some, you take your proposals to them, they just read it. We are not interested. Meanwhile, Central Bank was waiting for them. About last month, I was out when I even heard the story, and I came back and it's confirmed that 5 banks were dealt with by Central Bank. The money, the fine they gave the 5 of them put together was about 1.4 trillion naira for not supporting projects for people like you. So as I'm telling you now, banks are looking for proposals from anybody. They are. So get everything together that you can do. This is where your strategy and vision focusing comes in. Get something that you know can do that has people connected in them. People connection is what will sell, because banks are about their money, okay? Show them the figures and numbers of people, but you know that it's first a CSR, and that CSR will work. So go and test them, take proposals there now. Even proposals you've done before, go and represent them. You will see how they will rush you. You will have this, you will bring it. They will sit you down, you will have meetings with them. So they want to do it, they want to sponsor people, they want to help people grow, because that's the focus of the federal government now. That is it. Touching the lives and making sure people get out of this and they have. So that's the whole idea. I just wanted to join that. NEPA guys these days go around and start. 2 days ago they came to my area for people who don't know anything. You know what happened? The people who they thought were illiterate, they just opened this thing up for them and said, come and see. Oshiba will say that. They opened it to those guys and said, if you want to disconnect, you must give us 1 month notice. Go and bring your notice. You thought this thing will report you. And then not only that, they pasted all the numbers of people you can call if you are being harassed by these PHCN guys. And they said the person you call who receives that thing and does not take action is Koboko is waiting for you in Abuja. So they are really careful now going to remove that. Why? People don't have money to pay. They are still, and then you come, and then they remove the thing. And then you stand like this as if, and then they bribe you, and then you put it back again. Terrible.
Thank you very much. So in the terms of designing the strategy, getting strategy, I believe psychology in this area plays a very big role. So how do we put all this together or act independently? How do we do it?
Thank you. I told you during the course of the lecture that you should please go and read up on emotional intelligence. Read it up. It answers all that question. The thing is this. The day you believe that you are you are in the midst of people, and things must work, and the things are not working. It's not the machine, it's the people. Machines are okay. Put the machine down, put this thing down. For 1 year, it will remain like this. But the day it wants to work, you put it on, and it doesn't work. Somebody comes to you, do you know how to handle it? No. And let me do it. So the person who came first couldn't handle it, knows that he couldn't handle it. It's your strength of purpose and the will to succeed that helps you get out of this mess sometimes. Because there is no way you will sit back and not respect people when you are setting up something. People, you use people. People will use you. But people are the determinants of how successful you will be on that particular venture. Don't throw people away in everything. My mechanic won my heart 5 years ago. I've never seen that kind of person before. But later in life, I knew that he knew what he was doing. He knew what he was doing. I had a breakdown on the third mainland bridge, and a friend gave me his number immediately. Called this guy because it was dark. And I called this guy. He knew somewhere at a meter. He came one way, facing the traffic, and he got there in 15 minutes. I have never seen such. And he looked at me, made his U-turn, he said, "Okay, first off, we are going to tow this car." We towed the car. We towed it to the meter where it's placed. Around 8:39. He opened up his whatever for me. You know, they close this in the community of mechanics. They close at 6. He made the man open. The man opened, put it down, put on the floodlights, brought his 2 guys, and he said, "This car cannot go today." He said, "It cannot go today." I said, "Okay, fine, so what do I do? Get me a cab." He said, "No, I'm not getting you a cab, sir." He told the guy, he winked at the guy. They brought an SUV. I said, "No." He said, "No, sir. No, it's my own. You can take it for as long as this car is still here. I will repair this car." I was so confused. How to call my friend? Like, I don't understand this one. And the guy said, "That's him. That's Mufu. Look, Tokunbo, take that car and move it. Collect his particulars. We'll give his particulars." He gave his particulars. I drove the car as if I didn't know how to drive because I was so careful. Somebody else's car. So it was just, I eventually parked the car. Following day, morning, I called him. He said, "I know you will call me. Don't worry, sir. Please, just hold the car. Don't call me. I'll fix this car." He fixed the car. He brought it on the 7th day, 1 week exactly, to my work. When he brought the car, came with his list of things that what had changed in the car. I saw that video. In fact, I went back to my seat. I stood up again. I went towards the window. I've used all this before. I went towards the window as if I was looking outside for someone. He sat down, or I was really thinking, "How am I going to get it?" And he called me again. He said, "Brother, I know it's difficult. Look, listen, I know it's difficult for you to get this thing. I'm not even forcing it. If you can pay me 3 times, don't even drop anything now. I don't get it again." What kind of angel is this? And like, honestly, he just completely wooed me. And 8 of my friends till today, they have their cars with him.
Wow.
He calls people. They call him. Then I also made sure he started working for TBC.
Oh my God.
You know, because that's the only way I could pay him. And then he didn't disturb me. I started paying back his money a month and a half after. I paid it 3 times. In fact, by the 3rd time going, I thought the thing would start giving me problems again. So I don't know how to call him back. But he told me, he said, "No, till today, the matter didn't come up again. I'm using the car now." But people, you just need to be nice to people. Don't look down on people. Don't assume people cannot. No, everywhere. Even the man who sells things outside. One guy almost brought him to this place. Hausa man. He was trying to describe the place, you know, and he said, "Okay, I don't go sit inside. Follow me. You'll be walking. I'll be driving after you to go to this place." No, I said, "You shouldn't go." I said, "You shouldn't bother." He said, No. You know the thing what you do? You greet me well. Okay, I won't greet you well now. Because you can't leave your post and follow me. So I now said to him, I said, okay, make I give you something. He said, no, I'm not good. I said, I know the place. He said, I should describe it the way I described it. So I described it. That was where I came in, and then you saw me. You saw me when I was coming. So you see, it's just the way you address people. People say address people the way you want to be addressed. You address people. And the shocking thing is, as I keep using people, people care and service relationship issues. Lift your company. It could down your company, drown you, or it could lift you. A good smile, you're not giving the person a man anything, you just open the door for you. To check my OJEKUNLE results when we were very small then, I was the only man, the only person who went to check, who greeted the man, the old man, at the lift at OJEKUNLE. The others did it. And then when we got upstairs, they sent us packing. You know. So when we got downstairs, the man just told me, so I went to him. I said, come, I want to take your result. I said, yes, sir. Follow me. I said, well, I'm not. I said, no. He said, no. He doesn't want to do that. I started begging him. I said, I can't follow you. He said, it's because of you, but I will tell you what they did. So what did he say? Look, the man who operates the lifts entered that office. Everybody stood up for the man. That was my idea. I said, Mr. Harper, anything. These are my children. I want to change my results. We didn't know they're from you. Why did you tell me you're from Mr. Harper? He said, I'm sorry, sir. We checked our results. We got our results that day. We went downstairs again. We saw the man. I went back to him. The others were walking away again. So he told me, he said, see them, that was why I listened to you, because you came to greet me. You didn't greet me, so I put those guys back. And you know what? Emotional intelligence, they didn't know what they did. They didn't know. They just didn't have an idea. Now, move those things into the visions and strategies you are about to embark on to change your life. You need people. Work with people. Be nice to people. People will open the doors for you. They will open. In fact, when they open it, you'll be shocked. For a man, your wife will think there's something going on. For a woman, your husband will. I'm telling you. They're not calling you. Yeah. Please don't waste time. Come and do this thing. Blah, 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 blah. You know, and that's the truth. People, you need them in every way. You will always need them.
Thank you very much. Let's do that, sir. At this stage, we have to do this so that when we are ready, people will do it for us. This enough is good to set me strategizing the whole year and next year for the rest of my life. Thank you so much, sir. Please, we can sit. Please, sir, I don't know if you mind. I would like to have a session with you, sir. When I don't have money, but it's going to be expensive. Please. Thank you very much, sir. So we are going to move on quickly. I know we've taken our time, but was it worth taking?
Yeah.
I don't know. That guy is so much of an angel. That mechanic.
Yeah.
God bless him. God bless his soul. Please, when I get my car, sir, I'd like to get his number, sir, so that he can.
You will get to know him before you get it.
All right, sir. Okay. So quickly, I want us to appreciate some persons here. Nevertheless, every one of us here is worth appreciating. Everybody here is valuable, because if you're not sitting down here, I'll be talking to chairs. I'll be talking to chairs, and I don't like talking to chairs. So you keep me talking, and I really enjoy it. Thank you very much. So it's Mr. Dan Don. I don't know. Is he here? Dan Don. Okay. Sorry, the next time it's on Nigeria. So I have to take. Please let's appreciate it. Thank you very much for coming, Mr. Dan Don. Mr. Alex Igwe is he here? Thank you very much, Mr. Alex Igwe, for coming. Thank you so much. Miss Ruth? Is Miss Ruth here? Oh, thank you. My neighbor. Thank you for coming. Mr. McAnthony. Yes, please let's appreciate him. And Mrs. Ebere. Mrs. Ebere, I think she was here. She's coming. Okay. All right.